Today we're going to make a mixed media lava lamp drawing, kind of inspired by the style of Jen Stark. I'm going to start off by sketching my lava lamp shape with a pencil, as always. I'm going to keep it relatively simple, geometric shapes. It's just a matter of remembering to arc the bottoms and the tops of the lines to make it look a little bit more rounded. After I've drawn it in pencil, I'm going to outline with crayons. I'm going to color the base of my lava lamp with crayons. I'm going to start off with a blue, pressing a little bit harder to get it bolder at the edges. And I want to be more gentle in sort of the midsection of it, which is going to help with that illusion that it is a little bit more rounded by making it lighter in the middle and get gradually darker towards the edges. After I've got a rough gradient with the blue, I'm going to switch to a different shade of blue crayon to go over it and just get a little bit more depth to the color. I'm going to use a little bit of purple in there too, just lightly coloring over the top of all of this. Again, just to add a little bit more variation to the color. And finally, I'm going to go over the shadows with black to make it a little bit darker towards the edges. So I'm going to press the hardest at the edges and then get gentler with that black crayon as it goes towards the middle so it fades across and creates the gradient that I want. I'm going to do the same thing at the top, lighter in the middle, get darker at the edges so that it creates that nice cylindrical look. The next thing I'm going to do is draw some organic shapes inside of my lava lamp. I'm going to draw just like 3 squiggly sorts of organic drippy shapes. And I'm going to use markers to color those shapes. I'm going to start by outlining with one color marker, and I'm going to make a striped pattern inside of each shape. In this case, I'm doing sort of a variation on rainbow order, so I'm going with this shape reverse rainbow order. Purple, then blue, then green, yellow, orange, and red. Of course, you could do something else. I just like to represent the full color spectrum, so I'm doing stuff a lot of times in rainbow order or a variation thereof. It can also look nice to just end with the yellow and let white be in the middle. That can create a nice sort of illuminated look as well, leaving a little bit of white space inside of those shapes. So after I color in my patterns and make bright, colorful, organic shapes, I'm going to focus on the negative space in that lava lamp, and I'm going to fill that with a little bit more geometric patterns of black and white designs. Because that's going to create a contrast not only in the types of lines and shapes that I have, but also in the color scheme that I'm using. Having organic shapes that are very colorful contrasted with more geometric shapes that are black and white designs will fill it out pretty nicely. So I want to just add those patterns to fill all of the negative space inside of the lamp. And then I'm going to outline the outside edges of the lamp to define that just a little bit further as well. The next step, I'm going to add a background. Now, this is not so much Jen Stark's style, but I thought it would be nice to have some bright, colorful splatter painting in the background. So I'm just using my palette knife to scoop up the paint, and I'm pulling it back like a slingshot to let it fly at my paper. I try to get the paint splatters going in different directions to create some variety. I'm holding my palette knife at different angles and different distances from the paper. Of course, whenever you're splatter painting, it's good to recognize when you're done and not have too much. Finally, I'm going to cut out my lava lamp. So I'm just going to quickly cut around the perimeter. And then I'm going to glue it onto my background. I'm going to put a nice line of glue about 1/2 inch away from the edge. Some people use a finger as a guideline. And in this case, I at first was just going to glue the lava lamp right in the middle, but I decided it would be better if the lava lamp had sort of a ground to stand on. So I put a strip of pink paper at the bottom, glued the lava lamp over the top, and then that pink paper for sort of a table just looked plain with comparison to everything else. So I decided to add just some patterns and line designs around that. And that takes a simple still life composition and makes it a needlessly complicated contemporary mashup of Jen Stark and Jackson Pollock.